Hello, welcome to an Eyewitness News Special. We're coming to you live from the IEC's National Results Operations Center. My name is Tshidi Madia. We've been bringing you rolling coverage, bringing you updates from different political leaders, analysis from experts, trying to understand what's happening on that board behind us. What you're seeing there is the leaderboard, right? This is where, again, I keep saying it, where democracy finds expression, where the will of the people speaks to the politicians. They put out messages saying, hey, vote for me, I'm capable, I'm willing. And whether or not that message was convincing lies there. The answer lies on that particular board behind me. That's the leaderboard where you're seeing how political parties have performed. Today we had Herman Mashaba arriving here at The Rock. He had a media briefing a short while ago. He joins me now to discuss ActionSA's performance. Mr. Mashaba, good afternoon. Welcome to Eyewitness News.
Good afternoon, Tshidi. Always a great pleasure talking to you.
Looking at the sums and ActionSA's performance, you and I had conversations before. You were quite confident about what you've been able to do in creating structures across the country. You were certain that it will show itself when South Africans eventually vote. What we are looking at is not the case. Your sentiments, your thoughts about your party's performance in these elections?
Well, I think, first of all, Tshidi, absolutely, these are not the kind of numbers I expected. I really expected 5 to 7% performance. But unfortunately, one thing that we did not see coming was the MK factor. Without any doubt, we had a blind spot. We did not really see this one coming. And if you look at where we performed and we did our analysis based on the 2021 local government elections, absolutely MK had an impact. And MK, honestly, for us to compete with someone who's been a president for so many years, when he goes to court every time, you guys as a media, even if there's a funeral, you go and attend to the
Don't act like you didn't get fair amount of coverage. You actually did.
No, I'm not saying I did not get, but what I'm trying to say is that our profile, we're a new political party. So without any doubt, these are not the kind of results we expected. But honestly, we need to really be honest with ourselves. Looking at our first performance, that we're going to be going to the National Assembly. We're going to Gauteng province. We managed to bring the ANC down at national level. We played a role. We might not obviously have played it directly.
A substantial role. We'll talk about the role in the ANC. Yeah. Let's speak about ActionSA. Were you not too ambitious? Did you not cast your net far too wide? Would it not have been better to minimize your campaign and to have a focused, targeted campaign on particular provinces? Don't you think that would have given you better results? Instead of looking at the country, you try to look at particular provinces.
No, I think, Tshidi, there's always two sides to a coin. Remember when we contested the 6 municipalities in 2016, we were criticized for not going all over the country. And this time we had 3 years to prepare. Obviously, we had financial constraints to really go into the 9 provinces. And also, we had an impact of some of our leaders being really bored and caused disruption. So all these things really have had an impact. However, I'm saying to the team, I'm saying to our voters, I'm saying to our activists, I'm saying to the media, thank you so much for really giving us this great opportunity to really be a player in the South African landscape. Because, Tshidi, if you look at the results right now, I'm telling you, it gives some real difficult situation how political parties are going to be able to put together a coalition.
You spoke about the ANC. I actually just saw the ANC's national chairperson, head of relations and national spokesperson pass by. You were talking about the ANC. You feel you played some role in bringing the ANC down. I'm wondering, hold on for a second, if I can actually get an ANC response to that. I'm trying my luck. I'm purely trying my luck. I'm waiting to see. Actually, I'm interested. Ask Mathengi. Sis Mathengi for 2 seconds. Sis Mathengi. Hold on, I'm trying my luck. I just want to get their response. Sis Mathengi, can I steal you for just 2 seconds? I'm speaking to Herman Mashaba of ActionSA. He speaks about the role that they've played. As minimal as their performance might have been, they believe they've played a role in helping to bring the ANC down. Just before I continue with Herman, your reaction to political parties celebrating, in essence, the ANC's performance?
Well, we really have no angst or any anxiety about the fact that the democratic project in South Africa is working. our constitutional democracy is working. The fact that we had so many parties contesting, and the fact that we had the close on 59% of South Africans coming out, I'm sure more would have been good, but we're where we are now. The ANC accepts anything, any outcome, and will accept any outcome. We're prepared to continue working for a better life for all in whatever capacity and with whoever we will work with. It's too early to make pronouncements. We're doing a watching brief on the outcome. Tomorrow we will issue a comprehensive statement about our performance, but we celebrate democracy.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to get a view from the ANC very quickly to a little bit of that. I'll come back to what you were saying, Mr. Mashaba, saying that from where you stand, you've assisted in bringing the ANC down. But the ANC says, actually, we celebrate democracy. And I think that's what South Africans want to take away, is that this moment is a possibility in our country. Without bloodshed, we can actually have a governing party being brought to its knees. But I want to go back to the point you raised about the role you've played. Some will argue that it's inconsequential when you actually look at the numbers. What would you say?
Well, I think anybody would really say our performance is not consequential. That person must be living in another world. Here's a new party, 3.5 years old, contesting with political parties with a huge budget, getting a slice of the 1.5 billion rands. Look at the ANC, the last 2 months spending over and above their percentage of the 1.5, spending public monies, opening clinics and bridges and roads and so forth. We had to operate with limited budget and making it work for us. Honestly, I'll be undermining our voters. I'll be undermining the people who have put money behind this, including myself. I'm sure Tshidi,
I think about that. You did pour money, your own personal monies into this project, never mind who else funded it, but you actually said you believe in this project and you put money in it. On a personal level, what does this moment do to Herman Mashaba, who's looked at his own rands and cents and said, I will contribute that money to this project?
In fact, Connie left this morning for KZN. So we had a discussion last night, and even this morning when she left home at 5:30. She gave me encouragement to say, my dear, please, I'm 200% behind you, because at the end of the day, she's my, what do you call it?
Your partner in crime, she's your wife.
She's my wife, but she's the one who supports me.
She's the center, your head. This is where you go to get advice as well.
Because remember, Tshidi, I'm sure you're aware, ActionSA doesn't pay me a cent. I don't earn a salary, so I get supported by my wife and the family. Every time I'm looking for 4 million rands to put into this, or 5 million, I've got to go to Connie and the family to say, please. And she says, Herman, with what you guys have achieved, without any doubt, you've got our full support as a family for preparations for the 2026 local government elections.
Let's speak about what happens post this period when we go away from here. But before we speak about the country, I want to speak about ActionSA. Do you do a post-mortem to find out what went wrong? What is the assessment that needs to happen? What does the party need to do to figure out what the way forward is? Because I'm sure it's not the end of the journey. Local government elections await. National elections are on the other side. I've seen these to be a rehearsal of what is to come. This is the precursor, really, to that so-called 94 moment that people are looking for.
In fact, during the press conference earlier, I did inform South Africans that by Monday, early this coming week, once the numbers are out, I've already sent a note to all the senators that I'd love us to really have a 1 or 2 days full session in person. We normally meet on Zoom, but this time we must meet in person 1 to 2 days, where we do reflection and plan for the 2026. So, and after that press conference, I'll call a press conference to inform South Africa about our commitment. I'm personally committed. I told you I've got my wife and my family also behind this project to really continue. So this is just the beginning.
I just want to point out, as you're seeing in the background, Mam Brigalia Bram passing by. If you want to talk about the history of the IEC, you've got to look at that lady and the role she played. in creating and building up, and it's not creating, but building up the IEC and the credibility that it's understood and known for all these years. Herman, then let's speak about the question of coalitions, right? You were saying when you look at the board, it'll be quite difficult to figure out what the way forward is to build a government, and a government that serves the interest of South Africans ahead of politicians.
Well, I think in terms of the multi-party, as things stands there, it's going to really be difficult for the multi-party to form a coalition. But we'll see. I think let's not really rule that possibility out. We've already notified our members that as soon as all the numbers are finalized, let's get together and really decide so that each party can really decide their way. So we still, as ActionSA, committed to having discussions, but at the end of the day, this is the numbers game. But honestly, at the same time, Tshidi, to be honest with you, last night I reflected on this. Two possibilities. ANC, MK, and ANC.
You mean ANC, MK, and EFF?
And EFF. South Africa's economy will collapse within 6 months. Collapse.
What's the other possibility?
The other possibility is for the DA to approach the ANC.
And as an MPC, I don't even know if I call an MPC a thing because it's dead in the water. It was dead from the jump.
I had Helen Zille yesterday, and I had John Steenhuisen, obviously with their door open. As much as they pronounced to us and they signed the agreement that they'll never entertain the negotiations, but they've been denying the fact that they will ever entertain. But for us, as ActionSA, we've really made it really very clear. We will watch what they're doing. We will bring issues because just imagine the level of corruption that has happened in this country the last 27 or 30 years. I'm not really sure if you go into a coalition with the ANC, how you're going to deal with it. Maybe they might come out with a solution to the problem because there's always a solution to any problem. But I think for me, it's a better option than having
the others, or as John calls them, a doomsday coalition, because you guys have determined that it is. Yet you're the same man who worked with the EFF. But anyway,
Tshidi, I've had this discussion with you. I'll work with the EFF at local government anytime because there are no policy differences.
And we'll criticize that still nonetheless. But thank you so much for your time. That's ActionSA's leader, Herman Mashaba. Oh, hold on, Herman. Herman, before you go, sorry guys, the little space that you have, at least you know you're going to Parliament. Who gets to go to Parliament?
Well, that decision is going to be made by Senate on when we meet early this coming week.
It's definitely not you. I know that you're not interested in being a backbencher.
No, I think if my team wants me to go to Parliament, I will respect their decision. But if I look at it personally, I'm saying, can I add this thing value? I think for me, I would really prefer to really have highly skilled actioners. We've got people like Athol, Leratos of this world, people with real experience. They're really, I would really, if I have my way, I'm the only one deciding. I'll say to them, guys, allow me to really focus on preparing for the elective conference, because we've got to have a constitution of ActionSA. We must have elective conference 9 months after the elections with 60% of the wards. So I've got to prepare for that, and then at the same time I've got to now prepare for 2026. You think this was difficult? Just imagine now contesting in 258 municipalities, identifying mayors, councillors. I mean, it's a nightmare.
So you've got work to do.
Oh,
and as they say in politics, work towards an election begins as soon as one ends. So Herman Mashaba, clearly there's a lot of work ahead of him. Thank you so much for joining us. If you can look behind me, there's a lot of activity, there's a lot of movement, because there's going to be a media briefing in just a short while. The IEC is going to be giving an update on where they stand. When I last looked, they were approaching around 10 million, going towards 10 million votes, which leaves about, 5-6 left to be counted, 5-6 million that is. So we are almost at the end. I think that Simon Mabolo, the IEC's electoral CEO rather, has been trying to warn us that maybe we must recognize that there's a 7-day gap. I think that we might not have to utilize 7 days. I suspect that we might actually get to the end by the weekend. I suspect that the declaration that they set aside for the 1st or the 2nd will still hold. But yes, from me, I'm taking a pause. Stay tuned to EWN. We are going to be taking you live to that media briefing in a short while.